Are you going to say some words about the Broncos?
I can.
Awesome.
I'm not sure. That's like I'm way down here. Is it because I'm?
Oh, some of these chairs are really
That's
low.
okay. Sometimes I bring it low. That's okay. I'm just teasing. It won't hurt me.
We can ask Ray if he is ready to
right?
talk
Yes.
about these, and if you want to move them up front, we can do that too. Yep.
He wrote in and said, "This is ridiculous." So I'm careful. I don't need nothing. Try not.
Hey Ray, were you going to do the fire for Chief Anderson, the fire department review? We're going to move you up towards the front, just so you don't have to wait for all those other items.
I have a funny story. Him and my daughter were prom king and queen in 1998.
Oh, really?
7 and 98.
Here in Brush?
No, in Wiggins.
Oh, and Wiggins. Oh.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everyone, remember to turn your microphones on and turn your cell phones off, and we'll have roll call.
Mayor Schoenberger,
Here.
Councilor Anderson,
Here.
Councilor Bain,
Here?
Councilor Baker,
Here.
Councilor Becker,
Here.
Councilor Dykes,
Here.
Councilor Quinlan.
Here.
And in case you hadn't noticed, we're all proud of the Broncos' victory yesterday in Super Bowl 50, and so we decided as a group to show our support for the Broncos. So here we are. Approval of minutes. Everybody has a copy of the minutes of the regular meeting of January 25th. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, they stand approved as submitted, and everybody has a copy of the special meeting of February 1st. Are there any corrections?
I have one. I have January 25th at the very beginning, so I'll make that change.
So they stand approved as corrected.
Correct.
Visitors and delegations, anybody not on the agenda? All right, moving on to management. Public hearing for charter franchise agreement. I'll open the public hearing.
Okay, this is the second and final reading of ordinance number 841-16, an ordinance granting a non-exclusive franchise by the City of Brush, Colorado to Bresnan Communications LLC and its lawful successors, transferees and assigns for the right to make reasonable and lawful use of the right-of-ways within the city to construct and operate and maintain, reconstruct, repair, and upgrade a cable system for the purpose of providing cable services to the citizens within the City of Brush, Colorado, and declaring an effective date. Very quickly, I'll kind of do a lead in, and then our attorney, Bo Chapin, will discuss it as well. Essentially, last year and a half, we've been working with Charter, who purchased Bresnan Communications, and those negotiations, we used Ken Fellman as special counsel to the city of Brush in regards to franchise agreements with cable companies. The negotiations, we wrapped those up about 3 months ago, and we finally have that final franchise agreement that we're presenting tonight. And I'm going to turn over to Bo Chapin, our city attorney, to discuss any details that might need to be discussed for this evening's meeting.
We're having a second public hearing tonight because we're adopting this franchise agreement. It's some 30 pages or so by reference to avoid the need to publish it in full in the newspaper. That's what this public hearing is for tonight, for that adoption by reference process only. We had a public hearing several meetings ago, 2 meetings ago, for consideration of the franchise document itself. Ken Feldman made an appearance by telephone to explain to the council the details of that agreement and recommended its approval. The ordinance was read on first reading at that meeting, and with tonight's action, if you go ahead and approve this ordinance 841-16 on second reading, then that will have the effect of adopting the franchise agreement, and we can then sign it and return it to Charter. We already have a signed copy from Charter. Any questions?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I don't think, is Charter here? I don't think so, to give a comments? Any public comments? Hearing none, any council discussion? All right, hearing none of that, it's time to close the public hearing. So we will close the public hearing. And is there a motion to approve the franchise agreement between the city of Brush and President Communications?
Let me
Is that right?
rephrase that. The ordinance.
Okay,
To approve the ordinance on second and final reading.
all right. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the second and final reading of ordinance number 841-16.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? And roll call vote?
Mayor Schoenberger,
Yes.
Counselor Anderson,
Yes.
Counselor Bain,
Yes.
Counselor Baker,
Yes.
Counselor Becker,
Yes.
Counselor Dykes,
Yes.
Counselor Quinlan.
Yes.
Moving on to number B. Well, no, it doesn't have a number, but Castle Rock. Moving on to the public hearing for Castle Rock subdivision replat of Lot 3 and a special use permit for a drive-through restaurant. And I will open the public hearing, and Karen, your presentation.
Right, you actually have two items in front of you this evening, and we're gonna talk about them both simultaneously since there's a lot of overlap of information between the two. So I apologize if it's a little awkward as I flip back and forth here between two different staff reports. But hopefully this will make it a little more succinct, but it's just gonna take a while because of the volume of information. You have two applicants
Could you repeat that?
Yeah.
Karen, can you talk about, Karen, on the shared access on the other lots, is there any restriction for flow of traffic coming south off of 76? Do the access to those lots, can you make a left turn as you're coming in on Hospital Road going south to all those lots?
Yes.
So the only restriction is to that lot 3A is one in, you'll make a right out of the truck stop. If you wanna make a left, am I understanding right, you have to go to Cotton Street and then make that left?
Correct.
So you don't impede traffic coming north?
Correct.
Okay.
You know, and right now, based on we don't know what uses will go in lots 4 through
Right.
7, but they are a lot smaller in size. So
Yeah.
the likelihood of getting something with the same volume of truck traffic is
Minimal.
just not the
Okay.
same. And so that really is a lot about safety in terms of separation of those trucks and motor vehicles and how to best accommodate them all in that area.
Thank you. Thank you. Does the applicant have a presentation or comments? Anything you'd care to?
Hello, I'm Tate Hogan. I'm the real estate project manager for Launch Travel Stops. And I just wanted to say that this is a pretty special project. Tom Wong, he's our founder, and he's owned the company now for, I believe, 52 years. And this project will have about 35 roughly employees. One will be a manager that we bring in for sure. He's probably already in training for that position, and then the rest, mostly maybe one other manager for the restaurant will be brought in, but most employees will be hired locally. And I just wanted to mainly get up here and answer any questions that you all have about the project in general, or
Can you explain a little more about the layout of the property? I know we've talked about truck stops and a fueling station, but recently there's been some discussions about there may or may not be a tire facility. Future plans of a hotel may not come about. Can you just give us where we're at today with the project?
Sure. I actually learned from our CEO yesterday, I believe, that the tire care facility wasn't going to be planned anymore. And so that's why our current plans don't reflect it, not on the plan. But if that changes, we'll happily put it back on there. He kind of made that last second decision not to do that. And then the hotel, we haven't planned for the future, mostly because we have just recently opened all of our hotels, and the first one that we operate just opened like a week or two ago. And so we're holding off on some future hotel developments. We're holding off on building them until we get these first few open, see how they run, and see what issues start coming up.
On the tire care, was it just not thinking there's enough volume, or what was the reasoning behind that?
I think that was part of it, and I think from a business standpoint, some of our other existing tire care locations haven't been performing as well as they had expected. And so I think that's kind of the same as the hotel in certain ways that we're waiting to kind of see how those start developing further. And if they start doing a lot better, then we'll definitely reconsider. But I think it's mostly their performance that just hasn't quite met expectations just yet for us. So we're holding off on some of them.
One of the concerns that I was thinking about as Karen made her presentation was, on that traffic study, coming in at like the sea level of where the traffic flow is going to be today. That's one of the concerns I think we are going to hear from the community is it's going to be a lot of change for not a few, but on an hourly basis, there's not a lot of cars coming in and out. This will change it, pretty significantly. And so the C level, and I guess when you get to the D level, that's when you need to start planning for modifications to the streets or the traffic flows. Has Love's ever worked with the community for not today, but planning out for that 5 or 10 or 15 years down the road of a joint effort So if we have to widen the road or something like that due to the traffic or install traffic signals, have you guys ever done any agreements along those lines?
That's a good question, and Dave might be able to help me answer that. I know on some of the projects that I'm working on, we have been required to install a traffic signal, but that was because we had pushed the, I guess, stacking issues in certain traffic signals that were further up the road and basically to the limits. I'm not sure if we've done an agreement planning on the future, but I'm more than happy to ask my boss about it. He's been doing this for quite a while.
Yeah, because I think we're going from a A+ traffic flow today, and we're gonna go right into a C, or down to a C.
No.
Not through
Oh.
2035, it doesn't say what it'll do.
Yeah.
At least I don't remember, did it say what it does immediately, Dave?
It stays at C or better for at least 10 years, but, yeah, well, that, don't leave.
For those of you who didn't meet me last week, my name's Dave Pearson, I'm with Galloway, I represent those and have done many sites for them. And to answer your question, yes, we have. As a matter of fact, on the Berthoud site, we're looking at, installing infrastructure, now for not day one, but day 2001, when the warrants are met that poles, the mast arms, and the signals can't go up. And we're working with Gloria at CDOT on a pretty major traffic plan on there. And we have done that on, I'm gonna say 5 sites that I've done nationally for them before. So yes, do that. And this site, when with your two-way left turn lane and with the median and revised striping a little bit, it'll help hold the trucks to the side so the traffic can get by. Trucks are slower moving than cars, obviously, so that the intersection at connection point at Cotton and Hospital Road will see traffic. We'll just have to see if the load and volumes are exceeded and how quickly. And that's something that the city is going to be looking at very closely, I'm sure,
Yeah, I want to just restate that. So like today, the way the hospital road stands today, perfect condition. There's slow, moderate travel throughout the day, and if I understand, so I'm guessing we're at an A standard today.
You're
For
at a C.
today, we're at a
You're at a
C.
C.
How would we get to an A then? There's no.
Yeah, it's a brand new road. It's wide. How do we?
It's not that wide, and the way you get to it is to widen the road and get one extra lane in there. You don't have the right of way actually to do that without, well, you could, if you took your back curve totally to both right of way lines that you currently have, restripe the road and put in some other mechanical, some other controls, and you could foreseeably probably be condition. A lot of your LOS has to do with the actual traffic counts based on the way traffic engineers have to count the traffic. So they look at the number of positions, the fuel positions that are on the side, and then break them down, and then see how, and then break down the number, the restaurant figures into that as well. So truck traffic is broken down separately, but it's a part of the whole decision to see what the traffic is. So the only way you could actually make that a B right now is to have already built that road out to
Okay.
maximum width.
I was thinking it was at an A today, but we're going down to a C automatically, but I understand that. So can you explain more about, did you say Berthoud was the community that has like an agreement you're working on for a future date?
We're working through permitting on that side. We've got some soil issues on that, so that slowed us down quite a little bit. So we've been taking our time and dealing with the city and CDOT on that side. That there will be an agreement with them. The package goes in probably Wednesday, so the package will be worked with us pretty closely up to now, getting a line break.
at that time in 20 years,
It could
part,
happen before
right,
that.
when it warrants it, part of the infrastructure's there, and then your agreement says that Love's will assist financially with the project. Is there a certain cost share you use on that?
Right now, Love's is paying for the entire infrastructure. CDOT is paying for none.
Mhm.
Because they don't see it happening for even longer than we see it not happening for. So
Mhm.
CDOT has just backed out and said that if it warrants signalization, CDOT's not gonna participate. So, and that's the agreement.
Yeah, I was comparing it to Hudson, and that's a Highway 52, and that highway, I think, has more traffic than Hospital Road does. And yet I can't remember spending an inordinate amount of time trying to get on or off that, so.
Right. The Hudson facility, King Soopers moved in very quickly. I don't think you can get King Soopers into the remaining parcels that we got.
You're
No, I was Hudson, yeah, Hudson.
The King Soopers and then Tractor Supply tends to follow us around. But you have on lot 4 or 5, or lot 5 or 6 for Tractor Supply, probably not on 7. The King Soopers does definitely add to it. They brought their own fuel with them. And so and then there's another out parcel of King Soopers design. Also on Burlington, we haven't been over to Burlington yet. I just came back from there today. We also did a widening on 385. That is pretty much a lot slower than Hospital Road. It's mostly summertime farm traffic. Love does do things like that where we widen the business drive to take care of the big hit in the city.
Are there any other, you mentioned Tractor Supplies kind of follow Love's. Any other businesses that tend to follow where you put your sites?
Yeah, we've seen, let's see, anything from restaurants, Tractor Supply, we've seen, truck washes are fairly common to follow us. Some hotels, if we're pulling enough traffic to come off the highway,
Right.
hotels will typically follow us. So there's quite a variety of things that typically do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Is there any public comments?
I'm Bart Ginsler with Upper Platte Beaver Canal Company, and we showed up last Monday night, visited with planning and zoning, and so we're the culprits for being number 11 on the project. The heavy rains this summer washed through the lots that are just to the west of our pond, and pretty much washed out
not talking about water here that they're making. We're talking about naturally occurring rain. Is that correct, Bart?
Correct. Yeah. And I don't know enough about 10-year or 25 or 100-year storms. I just know that, that rainwater coming through those lots, and I think there was maybe some that was actually coming down off of Hospital Road and into where, our inlet and what we'll share with Lot 7, was creating a lot of extra water coming through there, but, again, I think Karen mentioned part of it's just the lack of vegetation. Castle Rock, I don't know if they got their money back out of their bonds that they had to put up, but they made an attempt, and they thought with as much rain as we had, it would be a jungle of grass out there growing, preventing this, but it didn't, so.
I think some of that can be addressed, the vegetation issue can be addressed with a special use permit. If once we get started working on the augmentation pond site itself too. I think that would help.
Could be. What does number 11 say again, Karen?
Sorry. The applicant must provide a proposal to address existing stormwater runoff onto Lot 2 of Castle Rock subdivision. And I know from talking to Dave with Galloway that they were looking at making some modifications to the site because they are interested in being a good neighbor. And, you know, recognizing that it is essentially a civil matter created by the construction company that did all the leveling. And Dave did a great job at Planning Commission talking a little bit about just the soils themselves and how that's contributed to the runoff. And some of this will probably take care of itself over time as you get more ground cover established, but just getting the ground cover established is, no, not quite there yet. So I don't know if you want Dave to talk a little bit.
Yeah,